but I did address it in my vows. And let me tell you what my husband needs from me. I can guarantee that he will always need me to find things for him. That is part of our relationship. It's part of our love language. He knows that it excites my soul when he says, have you seen my truck keys? It excites me because you're fucking right, I have. And I clocked it. I feel very strongly about this. Anyway, I have to go to the comments. You run. This person said, no. Go ask your wife and bring us with you. And it is a face of someone who is trying their very best not to laugh. Okay? Outstanding. The next person said, yes, all the women saw it in 8 seconds. And I think that 8 seconds is generous, honestly. This last one was the comment that got me. This was the one where I was like, Emma, put it in the rundown. The person said, you want the Hunts or the Heinz? Guys, in case you didn't realize, there are 2 ketchups. First of all, it is absolutely, I would just like to say, batshit crazy to have 2 brands of ketchup in your fridge. I just want to throw that out there. As someone who is a strict condiment household, strict, okay? You will not. I'm so sorry to do this. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the brand. You will not catch me with Hunt's ketchup in my fridge. You will not. It will never be. There will be Heinz ketchup in my fridge. Okay? My 6-year-old would sniff that shit out so fast and then laugh in my face for trying to serve it to her. Okay? Absolutely not. Hell to the no. It's going to be French's yellow mustard every time. Literally every time. And Hellmann's mayonnaise. Don't argue with me. Don't fucking come in my comments with Dukes. I swear to God, I'm not even a mayo person. I will go to the pits of fucking hell on this discussion. I'm not having it with you. I'm not. I clocked the Heinz the second it entered the screen. The Hunts I saw on the second scan of the fridge door because it's not my brand. It's not my brand. My eyes were looking for the Heinz because I thought, this gentleman, he's doing the right thing. He's coming to us before he goes to his wife. How kind. He knows what's up. He has to be a Heinz man. It turns out he's unhinged because he has 2 different types of ketchup in his fridge. That's for another day. All right, that's it for Doom Scroll of the Week, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Coming up, I'm about to be joined by one of the best NFL analysts in the game, Mina Kimes. But first, some messages from me. The real ones know my stance on ice cream. It's not really for me. I like it, but it's a Jason dessert. Jason loves it, and I don't really need it that much. So I'll leave it more for him. But if we're talking about Yasso, I'll take that. Yasso took everything you love about ice cream and upgraded it with creamy frozen Greek yogurt. It's truly the best of both worlds. Delicious ice cream taste and better for you nutrition. And it's available in bars, chocolate crunch bars, new 14-ounce spoonables, sandwiches, and poppables. Yasso has something for the whole family, which is great because my kids couldn't possibly all like the same thing. And luckily for big families with lots of different tastes, Yasso comes in so many delicious flavors. I would say that I'm a tried and true person. I am mint chocolate chip. If I'm gonna have something, it's mint chocolate chip. And the mint chocolate chip bars specifically, this right here, the mint chocolate chip bars are delicious. Yasso bars are 100 calories or less and have 4 to 5 grams of protein per bar. And they're made with quality ingredients. You can find Yasso at grocery stores nationwide and get this. Love it or it's free. They put their money where their mouth is. Try Yasso and not totally satisfied? They'll give you your money back. Find Yasso at grocery stores nationwide and learn more at yasso.com. As a parent, the days, weeks, and months fly by without you even realizing. It's March already. What? But April feels far away, right? We have time. No. Wrong. April is right around the corner. And April 15th, aka Tax Day, is only a little over a month away. If this realization about the 2026 tax deadline is hitting you hard, maybe you get nervous or stressed thinking about taxes, I have some great news. Intuit TurboTax is here to help. Intuit TurboTax will help you get your taxes done right. With Intuit TurboTax full service, you're matched with a dedicated expert who understands your specific tax situation and can do your taxes for you start to finish. You can directly import your tax forms right into the app and hand everything off to your expert. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress, and they work to get you the most money back, all while giving you time back to do things like go pick up your daughters from school, help your husband find something in the fridge, or plan a 5-year-old's birthday party. Visit TurboTax.com and get matched with a dedicated expert today. Intuit TurboTax, now this is taxes. As a parent, DoorDash has always been there for me when I needed them most. We all know life gets crazy. DoorDash helps bring a little order to it. Like literally yesterday when we were prepping for birthday celebrations and I needed to get some balloons. I DoorDashed it, because that's what I needed. And I wasn't going to put everyone in the car to go out and get a bag of balloons because it was supposed to be a surprise. Now, I have candles left over from Benny's birthday, but I may or may not have DoorDashed those candles too. Whatever. Work, life, stress, and multitasking constantly is just the daily routine when you have kids. Being able to offload a few of those to-dos so you can get a little more time to focus on yourself and your family is huge. When life happens, DoorDash is there. Real life needs real relief. That's why DoorDash is there for whatever you need, whenever you need it. When the chaos of life hits, DoorDash will be there. We all know life gets crazy. DoorDash just helps bring a little order to it. She's an Emmy-winning NFL analyst for ESPN and one of the best in the business, period. She's also an award-winning journalist and writer, the host of The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny. She's a fellow mom, Jason's coworker. We'll get into that. And now she's officially not going to lie. Mina Kimes, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have been a huge fan of you ahead of my husband working for ESPN. And more importantly, the way my husband speaks about you and your knowledge and the way that you break down the game. And he speaks extremely highly of you, which only made me more invested in anything you had to say. But speaking of my husband, he's been your coworker at ESPN now for 2 NFL seasons. So I have to ask, who's the most difficult person on the desk and why is it my husband?
It's absolutely not him.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, like so far down on the diva rankings in sports media. I know you hate to hear it. I wish I had an embarrassing story or even like a secondhand story. And sadly, it's all rave reviews. And I'll embarrass him for a second. I don't know him super well, but in our interactions, because my show is on Monday Night Football. He's on Monday Night Countdown. We're on before that. So he works with a couple guys on my show who adore him as well, Ryan Clark and Marcus Spears. So we are all on the road in the same cities every Monday. And people always ask me 2 questions I'll bring up. One is, what's it like dealing with so much crap from men because of your job? And the first thing I always say is it's on the internet. It is not like that actually with my colleagues or even people in the NFL. It's been an amazing experience. They are so supportive, so cool. It's entirely external. And then the other thing people say is, well, how can men help women? Because there aren't that many of us, particularly ones who do my job. And I think your husband is an extremely great example of how you do that, which is just by being freaking normal. Like asking, like just engaging in like normal football conversations with me. And it is not about like being a, weird performative ally. It's the things you don't see. It's if I make a comment about something I see in a game and he will remember it weeks later and bring it up, which sounds so small, but those are the things that actually, I feel like I'm embarrassing you, transitive property here, but those are the things that actually help. He has been awesome in that regard, and many of my coworkers are equally awesome.
Oh, that's honestly, it's lovely here. We love to joke around here, but I know how much he has loved working with everyone that you guys have on Monday nights. So it is nice. I'm sure he would be blushing and telling you no, but it's lovely to hear about him in such a nice way. Now, have you been surprised by any outfit or stunt that he's done at this point?
Not really. Actually, the instrument thing, that was the beginning of the season, right? When they were in the band.
Yes.
I didn't know
that one even shocked me.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Our girls saw him and were like, what's Dad doing? And I was like, playing the saxophone apparently tonight.
Who knew? I loved that. That was, I think, Baltimore, if I remember correctly.
I
that
believe
was a great bit. But it was not surprising, no, because I feel like it would take a lot at this point.
Okay, I'll tell him to up his game so that he can surprise you. Now, this is not my first time singing your praises on the show. I don't know if you saw this, but when Taylor's quote from the other podcast, we call that the other podcast, went viral, we played your TikTok using the sound. Queen Emma, can you show us the clip, please?
And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
Yes. Now, I love this so much. I love this so much because, first of all, badass quote. Second, it applies perfectly. Why do you love it so much? Why did you feel inclined to do this? Because I'm sure, like you already mentioned, this is something that you've actually heard.
Yeah. So I love the quote from Taylor because it was so tongue-in-cheek, obviously, and I think it was very revealing of someone who has a good sense of humor about themselves and awareness of the way that they can trigger some people and how silly it is and having fun with it. And I try to have the same attitude towards some of the reactions I evoke. I aspire to. So hearing someone who's obviously on a much bigger stage, I think, express the way a lot of us in a lot of women who work in my industry feel was pretty cool, and it was funny. But I joke about it, and I know I started off by talking about like men on the internet, but it's also like not indicative of most of the male sports fans I interact with in the wild, who are like amazing and complimentary and come to my shows and listen to my podcast. So there's kind of two sides of it, right? Like joking about the angry ones on the internet while also being aware that actually like most of them are pretty cool with it and most of them give us great feedback.
Now, one of the things all of your fans, including me, love about you is the very intelligent, very funny way you respond to certain men who share their problems seeing you on their screens. Some might even call it an exercise in fuck around and find out. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
I feel like I was joking with you before, like I try to resist showing them or responding, I guess, and then eventually the demons on my shoulders outweigh the angels, because it's like a mixed bag, right? Like you don't want to give too much
them what they're looking for.
Yeah, because most
also they started it. Yeah.
I think for me though, and like this is like sometimes because I get called DEI probably 100 times a day. Every now and then I'll respond. I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't feel good. It does. But also I want all the other people who get called DEI 100 times a day to see it and to see that how stupid it is. Yes. And how it's universal for all of us who are not, who are minorities in these spaces. And I think sometimes the best way to conquer it is by making fun of it. So I do want kind of to show that to people how silly it is.
Well, also, I think that if you're going to be what I would describe as hateful, if you're going to use that as like a dig at someone, if you're going to be hateful because you couldn't do that, then sometimes you deserve to be smacked down. But in honor of Women's History Month, I actually thought we'd bring back our segment, Fuck Around and Find Out. And we'd take a look at a couple times some Twitter bros, well, they fucked around, and you promptly let them find out. So this first one's a classic. Some dumbass wrote, women shouldn't be allowed to talk sports. This DIY hire is brainless, clueless. Her takes are dog shit. To which you replied, DIY hire. That's a quote. That's a quote right there. Is this one of your favorites?
I do like the ones where you don't actually even have to use your own words to clap back. You can just use theirs. So I will say I do enjoy that aspect of it. Do it yourself indeed. I also have found on the internet that it is often the case that the people who are most critical of other people for not having English as a first language, perhaps, or wanting to respect those who don't, often have the worst command of the English language itself. It just seems like that's like the circle, the Venn diagram. So I do enjoy that aspect of Twitter in particular.
Next up, maybe one of my favorites. Someone said, at Mina Kimes, you are definitely gaining weight. And you replied, yeah, that's what happens when you're 38 weeks pregnant.
It is, yeah.
I mean,
strange but true.
The craziest part about this is that it's not like, yeah, that's what happens when you're pregnant, or that's what happens when you're 20 weeks pregnant. You were 38 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's pretty damn pregnant. Yeah. I you know what? I actually worked. So I was working. So I must have been on TV because I think I induced. I worked the day before I induced. So from home.
Like
so I just, waddled upstairs. That's what you do when you're 38 weeks pregnant. Plopped down in front of gave takes on, it was the NFL season. He was born during the NFL season. It was like week 4. And then waddled downstairs, went to the hospital and gave birth. So I think I probably wrote that week when I was truly out of fucks to give. But I also, Kylie, didn't announce or reveal I was pregnant, I think, until I was definitely in my 3rd trimester. So there was a while where I'm sure a lot of my colleagues were just like, she's gained some weight.
Yeah, but they had the social wherewithal to not say it out loud.
Yes, they would definitely not say you've gained weight on air. Also, they probably noticed I was wearing weird 90s style blazers a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Number 3, this last tweet is a classic. Someone tweeted something I'm assuming you hear a lot. Can someone remind all of us how much football Mina has played?
Yeah.
To which you expertly replied, taken as many snaps in the league as you, champ. Let me just, first of all, calling this individual champ, well done.
Yeah. Thank you. Champ, chief, and boss are my 3 go-tos. The funny thing about the have you didn't play thing is I so value the playing experience of my colleagues who are bring such a different, obviously there's a million things that enables them to bring to the studio show element, but there's a lot of stuff I truly can never speak on because of it. But they also understand that for those of us who didn't play, we can bring something different as well.
And so it's crazy to think that these men on the internet are like, nah, I shouldn't listen to you. And meanwhile, I live with a guy who played in the league for 13 years.
Pretty good player.
And he was fine, but he I always say he was always a very intellectual player, and he loves your takes. So that's the balance you're talking about here of everybody else can sit down.
Well, that's, again, very kind, and I feel like I can't even look at the camera whenever we say that. But I do think there's something instructive in it for all of us, because we all now have these exposure to opinions from more people than I think humans were ever supposed to hear from. And it's weird because the internet flattens those opinions with the opinions of the people we should be listening to, right? It's very easy for me to think, that's so cool to hear that. But also, Rich Dolphins fan 69 told me that I'm the C word and should go back in the kitchen. And my dumb brain, and I think all of our brains, kind of equalize those. And we have to train them to not do that.
To not give them any weight.
It's hard, right? We're not, we're all now restaurants on Yelp. It sucks.
It's a deep, dark hole.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for Fuck Around and Find Out, because if we kept going, we'd be here forever if we really wanted to talk about all the times that you've expertly owned someone on the internet. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing back that segment. It's been a while and we needed it.
Thank you.
Now, I am a big Eagles fan.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And we're kind of an Eagles podcast around here.
Okay.
Sometimes Chiefs. Uncle Trav. Go Uncle Trav. But I would just like some insight on some birds questions. I have not caught much of the combine coverage, so I'm going to start here. What prospects have caught your attention? Keep in mind, I'm going to send this straight to the Eagles front office.
Well, first of all, I'm married into an Eagles family, so I don't know if you know that.
Because you're a smart woman.
In-laws, insane, terrifying, the
Thank you so much.
WIP
We
callers.
really appreciate that.
The call is coming from inside the house here. So much so, like literally when some of the downtimes this season, my mother-in-law, when she came for Christmas, the first thing she said to me before, "Where's my grandson?" was, "We're the shame of the NFL." Keep in mind, the Eagles were like 8-2 at the time. So that's...
Yeah, we were down on ourselves.
That's what I'm dealing with personally. So I know the plight. I'm very aware of it. A lot of really exciting players at the Combine. I actually just mentioned the Oregon tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, who broke the 40 record for tight ends, which is insane. I thought would be a great Eagle. I don't know if he'll be there when you're picking. I think it's 22 or 23, but to me, he would be an awesome addition. Corner, there's a couple corners who are exciting. I think that's a position that was kind of much maligned, the second corner spot in Philadelphia, so that's something. But you know this from your household and from the fandom, Eagles love drafting in the trenches, so we can talk about the corners and the receivers, the tight ends, but it seems like more often than not, especially picking where they are, I wouldn't be surprised if they go offensive or defensive line.
So I'll still watch football games and I watch the line first. And so like someone will break out.
It's the right way to watch the game.
It's fascinating to me. And so much so that like I always tell people when my husband was still playing, after like a tough game or he would have a good run or something like that. And he would get in the car and he'd be like, "What'd you think?" And I'd be like, "That one pull was great, but..."
Wow. So so there's this great book about football for anyone who wants to learn about the game called Take Your Eye Off the Ball. That's basically like, you know, when you're watching the game, take your eye off the ball and actually focus on the trenches. And it's really hard to learn how to watch football the way you're describing. But if you do, you can learn so much about what's actually happening in the game.
It's made me appreciate not only the offensive line, but also the running backs.
Yes.
Because the guys who, like LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi, the Super Bowl 52, the speed at which they would cross the line of scrimmage they were like a Mack truck. You were not stopping them. And so watching the O-line block and make a hole for them and then seeing them hit that hole at the speed that they were was like... I can't describe the feeling. It was thrilling.
That's awesome. They broadcast a few games with the camera. I forgot, Skycam. They don't do it often, where they would show it from behind, and which is we watch tape. You see the all 22 view, and then you see the end.
In a recent episode of the popular New Heights podcast, listeners witnessed a deeply emotional moment that quickly captured the hearts of fans everywhere. It wasn't a big game from the Kansas City Chiefs, and it wasn't a dazzling performance by global pop icon Taylor Swift. This time, the moment that touched millions was something far more personal, a heartfelt family story. During the episode, Kylie Kelce opened up about an emotional experience she had after receiving a wedding invitation from Taylor Swift. The invitation wasn't just for one person, it was sent to the entire Kelce family, a gesture that clearly meant a lot to her. The touching conversation unfolded between Jason Kelce and his younger brother Travis Kelce as they talked about the major changes in Travis's life since his engagement to Taylor Swift. What truly surprised listeners, however, was Kylie's emotional reaction. Known for her calm personality and playful sense of humor, Kylie rarely shows such vulnerability. But this moment in the podcast studio was different. At first, the episode felt like any other. Jason and Travis chatted casually about life, family stories, and their future plans. Kylie, who often joins the show as a special guest, sat beside Jason as the conversation flowed naturally, more like a relaxed family chat than a podcast heard by millions. Then, Travis suddenly smiled and said, "You know what? We just sent out the wedding invitations last week." Jason immediately laughed. "Oh, really? I guess I was on the list." Travis nodded and replied with a grin, "Not just you, my whole family. Kylie, the kids, everyone." Kylie paused for a moment, clearly surprised. She looked at Travis and asked softly, "Wait, Taylor actually sent an official invitation?" Travis nodded again. She said, "Your family is a very important part of my life." That simple statement was enough to bring tears to Kylie's eyes. Kylie is known for being strong, grounded, and down to earth, but when she spoke about the invitation from Taylor Swift, her voice noticeably softened. She shared that a few days earlier, a special envelope arrived at their home. The envelope had delicate handwriting on it. Kylie said, "As soon as I saw the signature, I knew it was from Taylor." Inside was a beautifully designed wedding invitation card. Simple, elegant, and very much in Taylor Swift's style. It wasn't flashy or extravagant, but it felt incredibly personal. What moved Kylie the most, though, wasn't the card itself. It was the handwritten message at the bottom. Reading it aloud on the podcast, she shared the note. "To Kylie and family, thank you for welcoming me as a member of the family. I'm so excited to celebrate this special day with you all." Kylie admitted she teared up the moment she read those words. For the Kelce family, the relationship with Taylor Swift has never been about fame or headlines. While the world closely followed Travis and Taylor's relationship, what mattered most to the family was how naturally she became part of their lives. Kylie even revealed that from the very first time she met Taylor, she felt her genuine kindness. She didn't arrive as a global superstar, Kylie said with a smile. She came as someone who simply wanted to be part of the family. And in that moment, fans realized that behind the headlines and the spotlight, there was something much more meaningful. A real connection built on warmth, respect, and family.